I got into real estate through my family. My parents basically used to buy cottages when we were younger. It was actually vacant land that they buy, and they built a cottage and sold it, and then they bought a cottage and renovated it and sold it. As well as the house I grew up in, my parents bought it and completely built it from scratch. So I kind of grew up always in a construction zone, figuring stuff out and learning. So that was kind of how I got the bug into real estate. Also, when I was 16, there was a course that I saw actually in Toronto, and it was basically how to buy houses and flip them and renovate them. So my mother and I actually went down to Toronto. I'm from Barrie originally. Went down to Toronto, and I went to it, and I was pretty hooked and sold as soon as I did that. And then from there I went to university. I studied housing real estate. I started off in commercial real estate and then just gradually worked into residential, because that's what I love to do. And I loved houses, I loved doing renovations, I loved doing all of that stuff. And so it kind of was just an easy draw, and it was really easy for me to get into real estate. I specialize in investment properties. Basically, how I got into this is when I went to university, I actually started buying up student rental properties. By the time I was 26, my brother and I, we had 6 student rental properties that we owned. We did a lot of work to them, renovating them and everything, and so it was sort of just a natural progression for me. What I like most about the community I work in is it's actually the area that I live in the city, which is really great. Basically, King West, Queen West, Ronsonsville, High Park, that's a big area that I cover. It's great because I live in this area. I know everything about the houses, I know the way they are, as well the condos, so you know everything that's going on in the area. It actually was a recent deal that I did. It was with friends of mine, believe it or not. They're actually buying a house that they wanted to live in to start a family. Basically what had happened is they were looking around the time when the market in Toronto had slowed down because of a lot of the government influences that were happening. So they were kind of worried at the beginning that they didn't want to buy because they heard things were going to go down. And I sit down and I talk to them, and I told them how actually within the next 6 months you're going to see the market really increase. And right now is really a good time for them to buy. And so they ended up buying with me. And we got them a really good deal on a home. We weren't in multiples, nothing like that, which was wonderful, and got them a really great place. Then what happened is a year later, they came back to me, and they had a job transfer, so they had to leave Toronto and sell their property. And so they basically wanted to look at the options of either renting it out or selling their property. So I came in and I showed them both options and sort of what they could do. The fun part about everything is that in that year's time, without them doing a thing to their house, their property had appreciated $160,000 more than what it was worth the year before they had bought it. So obviously they're like, let's sell this and let's cash out. So they did, and the experience went amazing. We ended up in a 14-way bidding war on their property, and they were super happy about it, and they actually couldn't believe that they had made that amount of money in a year.